Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, we are checking out Lily May's placements in the tier list. Now, I do have some thoughts on this one, but before we get into it, we are going to do another giveaway like we did in our previous tier list. We're going to do a $100 giveaway. Just be subscribed and leave a comment. You go into the draw. Check my community post for the winner from the previous giveaway as well. But in this one, I want to go through Lily May. I want to go through some other changes that I would personally make to the tier list. I might chat to Antilla about them because playing through the early game especially, I do have some thoughts, but I mean, Lily May is looking incredibly solid. So let's go through it. We're going to go through all the different aspects of the game, the pre-EX, the post-EX, the deficit pushing, the Dream Realm, battle drills, PvP, all that stuff. There is a lot to cover. I want to talk about Lily May, some other changes with other characters that I could see, and we're going to go through all of it. So first of all, the early game, the pre-EX. I do not think she is quite as good as Floribel and Cecilia. So my experience is, because I've been pushing on a fresh account with her, where I had her at Mythic and my Cecilia was only at Legendary. Essentially, like, there was tons of spots where I was trying to use Mythic Lily May, and all I had to do was just drop her and put in the standard Cecilia, Coco, Smokey, Antandra, Brutus, Rowan, any mixture of those, and you'd clear the stages. So I think she's good tech. I would probably put her in S tier. I just don't, I never use, like, Odie, I just don't think I ever use in early game. I just don't think he gets there until he has his EX. So I'd probably drop all these guys down a tier, and I'd put Lily May in S tier by herself. And then I would definitely put Rowan up a tier and Brutus up a tier. Because in the early game pre-EX, the main teams that you're using in every game is going to be a mixture of Coco, Smokey, Antandra, Brutus, Rowan, and then Floribel or Cecilia. I think Floribel's a little bit better than Cecilia, but both pretty much in the same realm. So that's the way I would do it. I'd probably crank Brutus up, Rowan up, drop Lily May down one, and then drop the rest of these guys, because I don't think I've ever seen anyone use these guys. I'd just drop them down a tier as well. But that is just my thoughts around it. But Lily May, definitely good in the early game. It's just, I feel like you don't have quite the team synergies that you need yet, and she doesn't put out enough damage to be able to one-shot stuff, and she doesn't have the control factor to use as a solo DPS. So if you can't use her in the position of Cecilia or Floribel, you've got to use her in the position of one of your supportive characters or one of your tank slots, depending on what you do. So I do think she is good, but copy for copy, I don't think she's even. However, once I get mine to Mythic Plus and no one else is Mythic Plus, she definitely, you know, could have some more viability there. So that is the pre-EX. In the post-EX, I'm not there on mine yet, so I'll have to wait and see once I get there. But once her damage does start ramping up, this is like what I consider to be the mid game, I do think she will be up in this sort of category with these guys. It just gives her more raw damage potential essentially that she can do, and if you're stalling, it allows her to get the higher damage out after a stall, which I think is a pretty reasonable way to place her. Once again, not 100% sure because I haven't tested it myself completely, but I do think once she gets her EX, once she gets Mythic Plus, I think she's going to be up there definitely with these characters in that phase of the game. And don't get me wrong, in pre-EX and post-EX, in this like early mid game is what I consider them, she dominates in PvP. She's huge in PvP. Like, PvP is crazy in the early game when you've got her banner on and you've been dumping copies into her. So she is absolutely fantastic for that. That is what we're looking at. I'm not going to go too in-depth into that one. AFK deficit. Honestly, I think it's fair. I have not deficit pushed in forever on my main account. I think I'm overpowered on the AFK stage. I don't think I've pushed AFK stages in like 2 weeks. I just don't care about it anymore. The only deficit pushing that matters to me is the start of the new season, because that's where it all matters. And then it doesn't matter anymore. So once again, deficit, I really don't care. I think S is fair. I think she's a good unit in these teams, and I think she can counter some really annoying enemies. And next season, if we have some of those annoying enemies like the Beyblades and stuff that are that annoying with their ultimate, I think she's going to be fantastic for it, because in deficit pushing, you can manually target who she's going to interrupt, and that is going to be huge for the deficit pushes, in my opinion. So that is that one. As we go into the Dream Realm overall, yes, I think S plus is completely valid. Actually, what we'll do is we'll go into battle drills and PvP, and then we'll come back, and because then we'll look at it on the grid based. So yeah, battle drills S plus 100%. Basically she's good in both mob clearing, because the way her dance works, she will just kill one, move on to the next one, keep kill, like her dance will continue on to the next target. So it's good for clearing that type of stuff. But then on top of that, we also have the bossing, where she's going to use it all on the boss, and she's good for clearing bosses as well. So when you look at it as an overall investment into battle drills, I think she's absolutely fantastic. Kind of similar to the way Odie works, where he'll kill one with his poison, kill one with his poison, and keep getting the energy back. Even though it's a single target ability, she can do pretty much the same with her dance, and then they both have massive damage for bossing. So I think that is a great placement for them there. Makes perfect sense for me on that one. And then PvP, S plus 100%. I've still got to do my PvP showcase on my account, but ever since I got her to like a really high exclusive equipment, dude, she just absolutely shreds. I still do struggle with Scarlita teams because I don't have Scarlita, but I do get the odd win against Scarlita teams. But definitely S plus in my opinion. I think she's better than Odie. It depends. If this is looking at PvP across the entire range of the game, from early game to late game, or if this is just late game meta. Late game meta, I'd say she's probably better than Odie. I'm not too sure on the burial side of things. Yeah, Vala is still such a tricky one. So I still think Vala is absolutely amazing. But yeah, I think this is definitely a fair placement with her positioning there. I think the one unit that drops out of S plus tier is Carolina. I don't think she belongs there anymore. I think she's a falling off unit that's just going to continually get replaced because she doesn't have anything to really hold her identity aside from that big AoE damage early on, and that is the easiest thing to replace in the team that she's found in. And I don't think you would find any top tier teams that use Carolina anymore. I could be wrong, maybe on a free to play type server, but even on my server, which is heavily free to play, ain't no one using Carolina anymore. It just doesn't exist. But I do think she is like the biggest fall off her character in the game at the moment. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think. But I definitely think she should be an S, because I feel like Almas is actually better than Carolina in that team at the moment. That's the kind of way I'm viewing it, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that's just my thoughts. I also kind of like Elsa more in that team than Carolina in PvP as well, if you have her built. But yeah, that's my thoughts. And also, it's a struggle to put Carolina on the wish list anymore for new accounts. So that's just a consideration. Now let's go to Dream Realm. Like I said, overall, Dream Realm, she is just absolutely busted. Let's take a look at the bosses. So what do we got? Skyclops, Croaker. So Necro Dracon. Okay, here she is up here. So Necro Dracon is an easy S+. There's just no doubt about that. Snow Stomper, I think she's probably going to be S+, but we'll have to wait and see. Croaker, S+. We saw that she's not in the meta team, but I think she is like a top tier option. And for a lot of free-to-play players, she's probably going to be in the top team. So that's where I think S+ is definitely perfectly fine for her. But Necro Dracon, she can definitely be slapped into that S+ category. She's absolutely shredding in that boss. She has movement, and she just out-damages in the best teams. And Snow Stomper, like I said, I am waiting to see the Snow Stomper's performance out of Lily May. I think that boss she is going to do well in. I could be completely wrong on that take, but I'm thinking she will. Based on the little test that I've done on my my test server account, where she actually, I saw her iframe the snow clump once. Like, it's a really hard timing to land, and it's pure fluke because the next time she didn't do it. But I've seen her like dodge it, and then the boss just goes a whole cycle without snowing anyone, which was absolutely crazy. So if someone gets some crazy RNG and abuses that, I think you can see some ridiculously high RNG'd scores for it. But we'll have to wait and see. I do think she is going to be S+ in Snow Stomper, but once again, that is speculation. But Necro Dracon, after we had the Necro Dracon day, if you saw my last video, she is definitely in the S+ in that one as well. So she is a monster of a unit, absolutely fantastic. And you know, there's still the one battle where she doesn't fit. The deficit pushing, I feel like she's gonna be better at deficit pushing than in pre-EX and post-EX as a tech unit. She'd be like S+ tech, but general S, if that makes sense. I feel like that's a fair rating, because I feel like if we do have those annoying units who you can just cancel their ultimates, I feel like she's going to be great at deficit pushing. But I'm not pushing deficit at the moment, so I ain't going to really speak to it too heavily. But that is a look at Lily May. Once again, I think she's been a fantastic implementation. But so far, everything is looking good. Most pullable unit of the game so far, and that is the updated tier list. Like I said, there are some changes. I might have a chat to Antilla and see if he agrees with me on some of those changes that I think for the early game and stuff. But in general, looking good. Lily May performing well. Glad I dumped everything into her, and now I'm going to cry if the next hero is good because I have nothing saved up. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.